What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man behind the magic. You know him as Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad to be back on the show and can't wait to start talking about some trailers, that we saw during the Super Bowl. So it's going to be exciting show.
That's not all we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about Peacemaker, and we're going to be doing that with our other co-host. You know him as Ching Chong Chippity Chopsticks.
Oh my goodness.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Also known as Jericho.
Can we change his name now? Put Chippity Chopsticks.
I wanted to say that last week, but you weren't on the show.
Oh man,
So I had to say it for this week. For those who don't know, that's a Peacemaker reference.
Yes, before
That's-
you
before you
at
start-
Ted.
Oh God, cancel Ted.
Yeah, before you cancel.
Before you cancel the show and report us to Facebook.
Oh my goodness.
We're
it
gonna be
doesn't
talking
make it
all.
right. It was pretty bad, but he's quoting the show. He's quoting the.
Oh man,
You totally
We have
threw
a-
me off.
we have a great show for you guys. We're gonna be talking all about the seventh episode of Peacemaker, the one right before the season one finale. We're also going to be talking about the actual season finale for the Book of Boba Fett, or what Joe
Joe's
calls
favorite
the
show.
Mandalorian 2.5.
No, it's called the Book of Mando.
Oh, there you go, the Book of Mando. But first, I'm sure you had a chance to watch a big football game that happened Sunday. I think there's a couple of teams playing for like some kind of trophy, and meanwhile, between the downs, there were some major trailers that dropped, and that's what we're gonna start out with today. We're gonna be starting with what I'm gonna call Super Sunday trailers. Which was your favorite? We want to hear from you guys. So if you're in the chat, let
Need
us
an audio
know.
clip right there.
Dun, 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 bum, bit, dum, brr, because we can't use the exact
There you
sound.
go.
Da, da, bum, eh, eh, All right,
Never
so
mind, Ted. We're good with that.
we're good. We don't need it. All
Yeah.
right.
We're good.
Well, you shouldn't have said that. Okay, so
Don't let Ted do karaoke, man.
No.
we're going to talk about our favorite trailers from this past weekend. Like I mentioned, several that dropped. Of course, we're going to talk about probably the biggest one, which was obviously Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But we want to hear from you. So if you're in the chat, let us know which was your favorite trailer or which was your favorite announcement from this weekend. There was a bunch of those too. And I'll start with you, gentlemen. Jericho,
Yo.
your favorite trailer that dropped from this weekend, from Super Sunday. What was yours, man?
Favorite? So many. It's gonna have to be. I'll say Doctor Strange just because that one has the most hype for me. It looks freaking nuts. It reminds me of What If. We're getting basically a live action What If. The fact that it's continuing from WandaVision, possibly the events of Loki, like hashtag it's all connected. Um, yeah, I would say that one. I know we're going to talk about it, but like that one has to be my favorite that I'm most hyped up for. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Joe, yours the same one, or do you have a different one?
No, same one. I like the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer more so than I like the Jurassic World trailer. Was it called Dominion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, and I get there's a big fan base by it, but when I looked at both of them, I like the Doctor Strange one better. That's just my prep.
All right, very nice, very nice. I'm gonna go slightly different. I just finished rewatching The Sopranos this year, maybe late last year, like December. And I was like, cool. Rewatch all of Sopranos. I'm good. I can move on. You know, checked it off the bucket list. And then they had a commercial, not a trailer, but it was kind of one of those
Yeah, it was a
mixed things.
commercial.
It was a commercial for a brand new electric truck,
Chevy.
and they had Meadow, who was the daughter of Tony Soprano, driving the truck, and she was driving to meet who played her brother on the show. And they had the music playing from the opening intro, and then the two of them embraced, and it looked like she was already crying. And I know for a fact those were actual tears of like joy. And I was just like, I did not understand how this would have affected me. So the fact that I was surprised on the emotional reaction that this commercial for an electric truck was giving me, because they were playing the intro music, they were showing the shots of New Jersey, and just seeing what Meadow and her brother AJ look like today, because they're probably in their early 30s or mid 30s now, but they still look like they were just going off to college. I don't know. That's kind of where the show ended. They were both
That's
like
cool.
early college, getting out of college. And so for me, my favorite thing that I saw Sunday was the truck commercial that incorporated the daughter and the son of one Tony Soprano. And in my head, I'm trying to think like, this could be canon somehow. What does it mean? So
Oh,
Tony's no longer around. Does that mean Sony finally took him out? The mom's not around in this commercial. Does that mean she passed away somehow? Maybe her and Tony were together when it happened. I'm like,
maybe it was
oh,
just that's all they could afford, Ted, you know?
Right.
yeah, no. It's totally fine. But it was just like
That's
I
cool.
didn't expect how it would make me feel
Yeah.
seeing Meadow and AJ all grown up,
Well, and
hugging
that
each
was
other.
a long time running show, right?
Oh,
It was
Several.
on for like 7 seasons.
Yeah.
They had a 6th season that they called 6A and 6B, but it was, I guess, like 7 years, maybe 7 or 8 years total.
Wow.
yeah, it was a good night.
That's
I like that commercial too because as you stated they recreated the opening scene for for the Sopranos, the intro,
Yeah.
and so much so that they even showed the Jersey Turnpike and they kind of showed the streets and they showed some of the shops that you see in the intro and all that. It was just filled with nostalgia and then the beat, the music in the beginning as well was the same music. So really,
See,
Woke
really
up
and
good
this
episode.
morning,
I've never
Yeah.
seen the show, but
thought
I
myself
remember how
up.
huge it was, and I could understand like how awesome that would be to see even just two characters,
Yeah.
like kind of a now, modern time and all that, like
Because in the
in
intro, you would
character and
see
everything.
Tony. It was Tony driving, you when he was smoking
Yeah.
his cigar or whatever. But, this one was the daughter driving around, in the electric truck. But it was good to see the characters reunited. It was a lot of fanfare, a little bit of nostalgia. Probably brought a little tear to Teddy's eye here,
Yeah.
If you want to see a behind the scenes featurette, go to Jamie Lynn Lynn Sigler Sigler. She plays Meadow on the show. She actually posted like a 5 minute behind the scenes featurette. And the creator David Chase, I think, he was also on the set, and it was just cool, man. Like the show ended such a long time ago, but I rewatched the whole thing because I kind of started it and then I stopped years ago. So I was just like, I need to finish this now. So I rewatched the whole damn thing, and it was just cool because it's totally unexpected. Every
Yeah.
other property franchise has been like, rehashed in some way. Even like Saved by the Bell, they got a new series on now. Everything's being redone. The Fresh Prince, they got a new series
Well, there.
reboot coming out. Yeah, Bel Air, but like nothing. Oh, Sopranos did the prequel movie, so yeah, they did do something, but I haven't seen it yet. I got to do that next. All right. Anyways, let's move on from that. So yeah, mine was the commercial. We have to talk about. the Doctor Strange and then Multiverse of Madness trailer, posters. I mean, there's so much that's happening with this movie. And what I'm reminding everyone is it's Marvel. So like 90% of what you're expecting or what you're seeing in the trailer is either like not going to happen, misdirection, like let's be honest now, it's
90% though.
90%. I'm talking about like all the theories that people coming up with. Let's go back. Think about WandaVision, think
Yeah.
about Loki, all those things that people were coming up with on a weekly basis. This is going to happen next. We're going to get Mephisto every week. Mephisto.
Everyone was an
And
expert all of a sudden on Mephisto.
yeah, never even happened, right? So, what I'm trying to tell you is like enjoy the trailer, get hyped, but try and keep your expectations not low, keep them focused. Keep them like narrow. Like have a reasonable expectation of who you're going to see
Yeah.
and what you're going to get.
Keep them
We're
simple.
gonna, yeah, keep it simple. I'm going to actually talk to Jericho first about this because you are the major X-Men fan of the group, X-Men fan of the group. Your thoughts when you heard the voice of one.
Damn it.
I'm like,
Can't
what are you
show
trying to
my
show us? Your armpit?
tattoo.
Live show with your
Yeah,
armpit.
well, you need to shave it, bro. You
Fantastic.
need to shave it first.
Great entertainment, Jesus. Well done, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show my Gambit tattoo. And the damn camera's not helping at
Yeah.
all.
Blame it
Never
on the
mind.
camera.
I just saw a whole bunch
Right.
of armpit hair.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Let's
no.
get back to the let's get back to the question. Thanks for grossing out our audience. All
My
one
bad,
of
y'all.
them.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay, so your reaction, what was your initial reaction when you heard the voice of Sir Patrick Stewart in the trailer?
I like freaked out. Like I was
Did you
watching
hear
it.
him?
I did, yes. So I
That's the
did hear
first
him.
question.
Right? It's like who? No, I did
What?
hear him. And so I don't watch football or anything. So I didn't see all this as it was happening on TV. So I was just on my phone and I was like, oh cool, this is a little bit before halftime. So I'm like, okay, I'm enough commercials I've shown. Let me see, found it. And then I'm on the couch. I'm like, holy crap, that was Professor X. That was Professor X. Remy, my son, comes running over and he's like, where? And so I started over, played it for him. I'm like, listen to the voice. Tell me who that is. And he's like, oh, Dad, that's Professor X. And he's like freaking out. Um, it looks nuts. It really does. Um, it's there's going to be, like you said, all kinds of theories, fan theories. Just like when we said about No Way Home. Um, I think pretty much everything that fans talked about, I think pretty much everything happened in No Way Home.
Mm,
Uh, for the most part, I guess. But with this movie, I honestly have no idea what to expect. I expect there to be crossovers in the sense that if it's titled Multiverse of Madness, there's going to be multiverse versions of multiple versions, I guess you say, of any character that we can see. I mean, we see in the trailer alone at least 3 or 4 different Doctor Stranges and what looks to be 2 or 3 Wandas, and
yeah.
it looks awesome. It really does. I'm gonna have an open mind. I'm not gonna go in there expecting certain people. Like you said, there is misdirection. That could easily be. That could easily not be Professor X's voice. Even though Sir Jean-Luc Picard has a very Sir Patrick Stewart has a very distinct
Yeah.
voice.
USS
His
Enterprise is going to show up and
exactly. Hey, at this point, it could. Even though he has a very distinct voice, it's possible it could have been somebody like Wong, or something, and like it could be somebody who has a similar voice, and we just heard a quick, should we tell him? Like that's one sentence, one line, or one question. I'm hoping it's him. I'm hoping it's Professor X. I don't know what version it would be of him, but it looks awesome. I'm excited to see America Chavez. I think that she's a great character to introduce. I don't know who else is going to come out. I know we saw, like I said, about the multi versions of Wanda. Seems like it's tying in with WandaVision and the events of Loki, maybe. So it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping, I don't think they'll come out, but I'm hoping they do at least mention the events of No Way Home because
Interesting.
because of the fact that we were able to get a multi-dimension in that part where it has all three Spider-Men together. I would imagine he's going to mention it.
Well, I feel like they mentioned it in the trailer. The long one you got online, they're like, um, you mess with the fabric of reality or something like that. Whatever they told
But that
him.
could even be talking to Loki, or how what happened with Loki and the whole all these variants and everything. Like there's a number of things it could be. But yeah, I'm hoping that they at least talk about it. I don't fully expect at all 100% any of the Spider-Man to come out. Actually, don't even know if I would want them to come out because I feel like that may take away from the nostalgia and everything that happened with No Way Home. Um, but again, it looks awesome. Can't wait. At this point, I'm done watching any more trailers of it. I know it's a few months away. I just don't want to know anything else. Just like with No Way Home, I try to stay away from anything about it. It was very difficult, but I did it, and the movie was amazing. So
There you
yeah,
go. Joe, I know you have a million theories. What's your theory on Professor X? I have my own, but we heard for sure Patrick Stewart's voice. Your thoughts on, and that was probably the biggest reveal, right? There's like two or three reveals I think we got in the trailer. Not all I'm gonna think are actually true or coming to fruition in the movie, but we at least got the voice of Patrick Stewart. What does it mean to you, Joe?
I think it just means that they're going to have the introduction of the Illuminati, kind of, the people that are going to be showcased that are kind of running things as far as that this version of the TVA, you know. And
Sure.
in this version of the TVA, you're going to have Professor X as one of these guys who's kind of in charge. As we saw, he's going to be they're going to be referenced to maybe as the timekeepers of this version of the TVA. So he's one of the timekeepers. You look and you see you're going to have probably some other interesting characters on there as well because there's several other seats when you're looking at the trailer that are being occupied as well. So who's going to fill these other seats? That's the question. Are you going to see Superior Iron Man? Are you going to see some other fan favorite come out there? It'd be an interesting aspect of things if they actually introduced one Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four sitting on there on the TVA, and then you have Professor X, and then you introduce some other variants that were, well, fans are kind of familiar with to kind of even things out. But it would be a big how to do. If you're in the theater, as soon as you hear Patrick Stewart's voice or you see his bald head, and maybe this version of him doesn't even need a chair, maybe he's walking, of his own accord.
it
That would
kind of
be
looked like it too.
yeah, that would be great. The fans are going to erupt and, of course, applaud, and scream and yell and get excited as they should, because they've been waiting for the introduction of the mutants to come into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it might not be here to stay right now, this is a great introduction. It's a good way to kind of get the fan base ready for what's coming. So that's what that kind of meant to me. But
Yeah.
going beyond that, there was a lot of things that you could get excited about watching the trailer. But like Ted said, you don't know what is actually going to make it in and what's just there for the trailer itself?
Yeah, absolutely. Not everything in the trailer. We all already know this to be true. Not everything in the trailer is going to be in the movie. Secondly, I got one word for you: boner.
No, God.
True.
Ralph
Very true.
Ralph Boner. We all watched WandaVision and we all freaked out because we thought we got a Quicksilver variant in the series of WandaVision, and look how that turned out. It was a big kind of like middle finger f you smack in the face to think like something this big could actually be possible. And then lo and behold, they decided like we're just gonna have a million variants in Loki. So we could have done that the entire time, but we didn't. We chose not to. So when you hear Patrick Stewart's voice, I'm not going to jump in and all automatically assume this is Professor X. Marvel, above all else, takes freedoms when they think they can. When they can change members of a team, when they can change components of a group, of a mythos, they will go and they'll do it and they don't care because you're going to love them anyways. Let's be honest. You're going to love them anyways. Um so Patrick Stewart could be playing a variant for sure of Professor X.
Mhm.
Patrick Stewart could be playing Reed Richards from a different universe. And Marvel was just going to be
Oh,
like, that's
they
what we're
would
doing.
write it.
What are you going to do? Write it yourself? you know, they can do whatever they want. So until we actually see it and we figure out what's
Mhm.
happening, for now, it's just Patrick Stewart's voice, just like it was Ralph Boner's voice and face and actor, but it had zero to do with Quicksilver. They they
Dude,
will
if
take
they
they will take
what?
freedoms whenever they can, and nothing is the same as the comics. As much as we want to think so, on the Marvel side, nothing is 100% accurate to the comics. They make changes all the freaking time, but people just don't call them out on it. And so they're going to keep doing it until one day that happens. But I wanted to share this with you guys. This was a great thing that was on the internet. So it's the actual poster with all of. I know it's really hard to see. It's the poster with all of the markings and the theories of what people have seen so far. So I'm going to start down here. Captain Carter's shield is like the first thing everybody noticed. That great Easter egg. Does it mean anything? I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that doesn't mean a damn thing. Not gonna fall for it. Let's see here. We have a couple of zombies, a couple of variants of Doctor Strange around here. Mordo over here. Wong's on this side right here. There was Captain Marvel logo. I think it's this one here. It's the actual symbol of Captain Marvel. So all these things can definitely be something, or they can all just be half of them. Half of them can
Mhm.
just be misdirection. All the large pieces of characters we already know that are in here. Wong, the variants of Strange, Defender Strange. I think this one's Defender Strange. This one's a different Strange. We got America Chavez. She's here a couple of times. She's already in the trailer. She's been announced. I know that we've seen different shots of Wanda and also different shots of two Wandas in the trailer. I
Mhm.
also don't know if that is one if those are variants of Wanda. Wanda has the ability to be in her own head and experience things as if they were real,
Right.
and she can manipulate reality without it actually being 100% real, like actually creating matter. She can change things to look how she wants to look and just experience feelings and memories without her actually creating matter and doing it that way. So I'm also going to wait and hold off on the variant Wanda theories out there until I watch the movie. Anything else you gentlemen caught in the poster or the trailer that you guys want to talk about?
Go
I
ahead,
haven't seen
Jericho.
the poster just yet. Besides the thumbnail that you're showing right now, but I mean, just again, based off the trailer, there's just so much. It's what was it, like a 2.5 minute trailer, and it sucks to know that half of it or most of it is not going to be in there. Like with what was it? Infinity War. I didn't care that we didn't see a
Hulk.
group shot of them running and Hulk, and not necessarily not seeing Hulk in a battle, but the fact that we didn't see the group shot running just like it showed in the trailer, like I didn't care about that because the movie itself was good. Um, so even with this movie too, they have, for me, if 90% of the stuff that we see in the trailer and theories that we hear, again, if it doesn't pan out, at least I care more of, is it a good movie? Does it make sense? Just like with No Way Home, if two Spider-Man, if Garfield and Maguire didn't show up, I honestly would not have cared. It sucks if they didn't show up, but that doesn't ruin the movie for me. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's fans out there where this is a hit or miss for them, or a deal breaker kind of thing. So I don't know. There looked like there was some Ultron servants or whatever. It looks like there was zombies, the Marvel zombies at some point. Evil, what was his name? Evil Superior Strange, or whatever
Yeah.
his name was. So I don't know. That's the only one that I feel would be in the movie because it seems like he's going to be one of the main antagonists. But I don't know if he doesn't come out. All right, let's watch the movie. Let's have a good plot, a good story.
Joe, what else you got, man?
looking at the the trailer, I did notice something, and I'm gonna show it to you guys.
Oh man.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can show you the picture.
Oh man.
There you go. It's just a quick picture. So you look at the picture, right?
This is from the trailer?
This is
Yeah,
from
back
Loki,
row in the
but I'm
back
gonna
row.
get
I
to
was
the
about
trailer.
to say.
But if you look at this item that's here on this mantle,
Yeah.
you see that in the trailer. You know,
Do
you
you?
yeah, you see that same thing in the trailer, and that's the thing that was like, okay, it was kind of interesting to me. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing now. For now,
Yeah, we don't want to
and
see your browser history.
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
well, there's
What are you
nothing
doing?
there. I mean, I just have topics on what we're talking about. But
Just
looking at that, and then you look at the actual like trailer for Doctor Strange, and I'll share the screen again so y'all can see this here. You tell me what this looks like to you guys. Doesn't it kind of look similar?
To what you just showed us or
I just
something
showed you on
different?
the
to the
mantle.
castle.
Yeah. It's like the item on the mantle kind of resembles this thing that you're seeing here in the trailer. You just see a quick glimpse of it, and that's the way it's depicted in the trailer. But it kind of looks similar. So we know that, you know, and this is the office or the citadel of he who shall not be named, aka Immortus, because he's the older version of King the Conqueror. So maybe this will finally start introducing King the Conqueror in some form, and the thing that I took out, because I even showed Ted the 8K uh pic that's going around social media. I'm sure everybody's seen it. I don't need to show that. But the actual, still of it, it kind of resembles Kang. Then it can resemble Monica Rambeau, and it can resemble many other different, characters that fans are wanting. Even one of the theories that was running rampant when they first saw the trailer was, oh, it's Superior Iron Man. It has to be. It doesn't really look like Superior Iron Man at this point. Maybe the best explanation for this still is maybe they're going to introduce a forgotten time traveling sorcerer who actually fought Sumagarth Garath, which is that entity or that creature that you see in the trailer itself, which is just one big eye with tentacles. That's Shuma Garath, and he's a very powerful entity that can't be destroyed. So, layman's terms, if you destroy him, you become him. So you have to be a powerful sorcerer in order to kind of banish him. And there is a time traveling sorcerer that Doctor Strange has encountered before, and his name is Cease Neg, and he's from Earth 74113. and you kind of look at him, and he kind of resembles the picture that I saw in the 8K. Maybe that's him. Maybe it's a variant of him. Who knows? But I think that we're not going to get introduced to Kang the Conqueror as many fans are expecting. Oh, it's going to be Kang. We're going to see Kang. Maybe they might make a quick reference, or you might see something that might allude to him being around, but I don't think they're going to just drop him in here,
Yeah.
in this particular point in time. Maybe they're going to wait to do that in Ant-Man in Quantumania, you know. But this might lead up to that, something to get the fans excited about. But even America Chavez, for example, you're looking at her character, and I think that's something that fans need to get really excited about, because I think it sends a clear picture of what this film is going to mean and the direction of the MCU moving forward. Because we've already seen, in Hawkeye, we've seen this generation of younger superhero start emerging. Even with was it Endgame? We saw Tony Stark's daughter. So all this leads you to believe that the direction for the MCU now, starting with, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is they're going to start introducing characters from the Young Avengers, which is big because then that's going to tie into, the next big event, which is going to be the Secret Wars. So
Yeah.
somehow it's going to include the Young Avengers, or some of them fighting alongside some of Earth's mightiest heroes. So you're going to have the changing of the guard. You're going to have the younger, up and coming Young Avengers fighting alongside the veterans, which are going to be some of the characters that fans are more familiar with, and they might meet their demise in this Secret Wars, kind of passing of the torch. Not everybody might make it, but I like the direction of this. I like that the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is starting to set things up. And again, expectations, don't put them sky high. Just simplify things. Enjoy the
Yep.
story. Enjoy the buildup. That's what they're doing. They're building things up, and I think it's going to be a really interesting story. They're going to show, I think, maybe not be the focal point, but evil Doctor Strange is certainly going to make a presence in this film. How far are they going to go with him as him actually being the main villain? I don't know. Maybe that's another thing that they might take out of the actual film altogether, and not have him have a lot of screen time. That's the thing with these trailers. You got to be careful in what you actually want in the film versus what's actually going to be in the film. And we spend so much time trying to break down every little Easter egg, and then when you finally see it, you're disappointed. I think in this sense, just go with the flow. Just try to keep it simple. I know fans are expecting, hey, Monica Rambeau is going to come in here. We're going to see a variant of Captain Marvel. At this point, we really don't know what this character is, and I'm fine with that. That's going to be part of the allure when you go and see the actual film. This is who it actually is, instead of us trying to theorize every single, character that's showing up here. But Patrick Stewart was a nice, nod there. Hearing the voice gives you chills, gets you excited. But Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is setting up some good things here. I think we're gonna have a lot of cameos. So much so that I went on Google, and I went ahead and just Googled, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness cast. And when I looked at it, I don't know, I think it's somebody playing a trick, and they showed Ryan Reynolds on there. I'm like, I don't think that that's legit.
Yeah.
I think it's somebody just putting his name in there, making an edit, to get the fan base excited, kind of troll
That's
him.
funny.
But it would be cool, nonetheless. I know JC, he's not with us right now, but he would be so ecstatic if, in
He's
fact,
alive. He's alive, people. He's
Yeah,
yeah,
alive.
yeah. He's
yeah, I
alive.
mean, he would be so ecstatic if, in fact, Deadpool did make an appearance, a cameo in the film. That would be funny. It'd be hilarious. And what a better way to kind of introduce him into the MCU by bringing him
Like
in on this show.
JC would always say, have Deadpool come in the movie and have him just drop an F bomb and
And
leave.
leave. Exactly.
That's
That
all he
would be,
wants.
yeah, and that would be fitting here. But I'm just excited to see where this
Yeah.
actually goes. Excited to see Wanda alongside, Doctor Strange, and things are gonna get weird. We thought the the first film was strange. This one's even gonna be weirder than that one. And now with the advent of the multiverse, I mean, this can just pretty much go anywhere. But I think it's gonna show the ramifications basically, because you hear in the beginning, "Don't cast that spell, Strange," of what he did in No Way Home.
Yeah.
And what happened with the timeline there. And we're going to probably see references of what's going on with Loki as well, and seeing how, time is affected because I think what happens in some of these other films and like the series with Loki and even maybe with Wanda, in WandaVision, we're gonna see how how everything's been affected as far as the timeline goes. So that's gonna be a really interesting aspect of the film is I think the underlying tone of this whole thing is time. So I'm excited to see what
Exactly.
that is gonna, transpire to be.
Yeah, it's actually a great it's a great callback that you brought up the "Don't cast that spell strange," because if I remember correctly, that was in the trailer for No Way Home,
Hmm.
Yeah.
not in the actual movie. Wong was a lot less aggressive about not making
Yeah.
that spell or not casting that spell. He was pretty much just like, "Well, all right, but I don't want to be a part of it," and then just like
Yeah.
walked off. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's not how the trailer went at all. That was the exact opposite of how the trailer went."
Yeah.
Anyways, no, all good points. Again, Patrick Stewart's voice, fantastic. What does it mean? Don't know, and I'm not gonna try and figure it out because it's Marvel. But I think half the things we're seeing in the trail, not half, but all the like the really crazy things that we're seeing in the trailer, it could all be a part of that nightmare he's having in the very beginning, and they
Hmm.
might not even touch on that ever again. So it's just like they're gonna do whatever they want, whatever they can. They're showing us like they showed us a dinosaur in the damn trailer, and I know that's like a part of Antarctica that's in the comics. But that could all just be part of his nightmare and not an actual place that he's visiting later on.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. You don't know what they're gonna do, they're gonna take as many freedoms as they can. It
Yeah.
would be wonderful to think that the entire reason for coming up with Marvel's What If animated series was to sort of prime us for this type of movie, like you know, um, zombie Marvel characters. Well, you saw it in What If. Now it's not so weird anymore, is it? Those kinds of things. Killing off multiple characters in the What If series, and now you can do it in a movie, and we're not going to get all up in
Hmm.
arms about it.
When we see
It would
those white
be
eyes, when we see those white eyes light up in the sky.
there. You go.
Yep.
If you want us to like really flip out, and you really want to blow our minds, then the team that saved the entire multiverse in the finale of What If, make those folks be the Illuminati and make those folks be the characters from the finale. It was like Captain Carter
And hmm
and Black Panther, Thor, make all those guys the Illuminati, and then like that would completely blow our freaking minds.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, and they're just going to be like, well, we kind of screwed up the multiverse once. We didn't want it to ever happen again, so we created this Illuminati group. And then who's going to complain? Who would complain that we don't see superior Iron Man? And who would complain that,
I
damn it,
would
Joe,
complain. I would complain.
it would just be the ultimate sort of meta Easter egg if you were
Yeah.
to bring the heroes from the What If series, season one, and make them this organization now that's overseeing the multiverse. Although, like you're right, Joe, it's like why aren't they the TVA? What makes them any different? But whatever. Oh, also, it is not Shumagorath. It's supposed to be, but Marvel doesn't own the rights to the Shumagorath
Yeah.
name, and so they're calling him
Oh, maybe
Gargantos.
he'll have the same
Gargantos.
powers, just a different name.
Oh
Probably.
yeah, no, he looks completely the same, but it
Yeah.
just won't be called Shumagorath.
Are you sure it's
Joe,
not Galactus?
oh God, Joe's in the chat. He says no. He doesn't want the What If heroes. Joe, go watch the What If series, and then you might feel differently, sir.
Yeah, but Peggy Carter, What If? I mean, that was great. It was amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
I didn't care too much
Uh,
for the zombie part of it, but the one with
Like,
Peggy Carter was really good.
I love the zombie part. I thought the zombie part was
It
actually one of
wasn't
my
bad.
favorites.
It was okay to me. It wasn't like, "Wow, it's zombies," you know? I was like, "Oh, okay." It wasn't bad. It just I enjoyed the Peggy Carter, Captain Carter more, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, who wouldn't want to see more Peggy Carter in the MCU? Joe says he'll check it out, but if I'm wrong, I'm probably going to hear about it later.
If you're wrong, Teddy owes you a case of beer.
There you go.
How about one beer? Why you got to go to case like
You
automatically?
got big bucks. You're big bucks,
Let's
Uncle
let's
Teddy,
It's
let's
man.
start
very
out.
good
Let's start off
beer.
with one, and then we'll go from there. All right. That was our favorite trailers and commercials from Sunday's festivities. If you had a favorite trailer or a
Joseph
favorite,
says you owe him a bottle of Jack if he doesn't like it.
oh man,
Wow.
then I would just lie if I was you and be like, I hated the whole thing. Give me that Jack.
Don't get cheap on us, Teddy.
Hey, right. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the book of Boba Fett. Oh, also, if you had a favorite trailer, a favorite commercial, anything outside of the game, let us know what your favorite part was about Sunday, or maybe it was the game. Maybe your
Or
team won.
you hated a certain
Let us
commercial.
let us know.
I despise the baby commercial. I hate that power trade, that baby commercial. It's unnatural, dude. I'm over it, man.
That was hilarious.
Oh man, I'm done with that baby commercial, dude. That baby commercial has gotta go. Gotta go.
I think
All
one of
right.
my favorites was the Larry freaking Larry David commercial
Oh yeah, that
when
was pretty good.
he was just against everything. He's like, and I'm never wrong about these things.
Man, what is the deal
That's
too?
awesome.
Everybody's like hyping the halftime show like it was the greatest thing on planet Earth. And I grew up with these artists, you know, and I like their music, but I just thought the show was okay.
You were
You
you
know?
were just too old for like that time
No,
frame, Joe.
I grew up with some of this music and I liked it. It's not bad. I didn't say the artists are bad or
Yeah.
horrible. I just thought
You
that the
were
show
you
was
were
okay.
you were in the generation like right before like that movement happened, that rap
No,
movement
I
happened.
grew up with this stuff, dude, and it was okay.
You
This
were
the show the
older.
halftime show was okay.
You were like what, 20 in when Snoop Dogg stepped on the scene?
No, bro, I was still in high school when he stepped on the scene. I was in
So close to
'93,
it.
bro.
All right. You were in high school. All right.
Yeah,
Then
I was
this
doing
should
it.
be your bread and butter, man. This should have took you back to those
It
high
it
school
took me
He's
back,
days.
like
and I
closer
like
to the
the
border
music.
of like
I
you
like the
said.
music. I like the music. I just thought the show was okay. I didn't think it was
I
Here's the thing.
It should have been
They
longer.
they it should have been longer. They hyped it up. I mean, this is the first time we've seen a trailer freaking commercial for a halftime show. So everyone was hyping it up. You had, what was it, five artists. Each one did a great job. Surprised by $1.50.
Dude,
You
he
know,
was
like
more like 2 bucks. He was swole, dude. He just
he
finished performing at Smoke Barbecue. How do you go from Smoke Barbecue to the halftime show? It looked like he ate all the smoked barbecue.
but I think they had, it was too many artists to have for one halftime show. This was a
No.
full on concert, for sure. This would be amazing. If this was a tour, I mean, come on, that's awesome. A
Joseph
halftime
answered
show.
my
If they could have taken out one person or not have 50 Cent there because he wasn't announced, we had to listen to his song. Which, don't get me wrong, I like 50, um, I felt like it took away. So it could have been, each person could have had maybe played an extra song. Eminem, I mean, he played a great song. Kendrick Lamar with the Golden Lords, they could have done. I haven't heard
I
that
like
song. I
Kendrick
thought it
Lamar.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar was awesome. They all did great. Um, but I think the main people were Dre and Snoop. They did amazing. But yeah, it could have been a little bit longer. Let's not talk
Hey,
about that. Let's move on.
It was just
yeah.
okay, in my
The
opinion. It was
the
okay.
o- the only complaint I have is that it should have been 5 to 10 minutes longer. Other than that,
Yeah,
outstanding. Mary J. I actually would have wished I would have heard a different song than the ones that she
Yeah.
chose.
Yeah, that kind of song was played out. I wanted to hear the song she did with Method Man.
I don't remember what that was,
Okay.
but that would have
I don't
been
remember the
cool.
name, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, if they would have brought out Method Man instead of Fitty, I would have been like, "Damn, this is dope," you know?
Well,
But
I don't know. I don't. He's not on Dre's label, so that's why. But I
yeah,
think also with I was gonna say, oh my god, I was gonna say Faith Evans. Sorry, wrong sec. With
Hey,
my
they
bad.
didn't bring Biggie. I
Um,
mean, come on now.
with Mary J, I think her song choice slowed down the pace that they had going.
Yeah, it's
You
kind of
know,
played
like
out. The music that they chose for her is kind of played out. You'd want to hear
yeah.
something a little bit different. That she has a lot of great songs in her
Oh yeah.
arsenal. But
I would actually say the same thing about Eminem. Like that's
true
not the
enough,
one
true enough.
I want to hear during the Super Bowl halftime. I know that's
Who-
like your biggest hit.
Yeah,
Lose
Yeah.
Yourself is your biggest hit, but like let's just keep the energy level up here. And that one's the opposite. That one's like
What would
dramatic
you have chosen,
and
Ted?
slow.
yeah.
Um, uh, what was Guess Who's Back? That one, I think that one would have
Yeah.
been fine. He didn't do that one. He has newer stuff that he probably could have done that
And
would
he
have
had
fit
Dre
better.
there with him too, and Dre helped him produce that
Yeah.
album. It's like,
They
dude,
they
why did
they
you do
could
that?
have done Forget About Dre. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, because he's right there. He's
Yeah.
right there on the
And they
stage.
could have been, oh man. All right. That's we could go on and on about that.
Yeah, yeah.
We totally could.
That'll be in
Yeah,
the next episode.
I wish it was longer. That's all I can complain
Yeah.
about. Joe also says, "Leave Fat 50 alone." Hey, we'll leave him alone, man.
Dude, I thought he's
And
gonna fall, man, from the ceiling, bro. I was scared.
I like the
what
meme where they show him upside down and his all the blood rushing to his head. He has like big veins, or like he's been waiting this whole time.
Bro, I don't know how long he had been
Oh
staying
man.
upside down. Like,
Yeah.
when they flip him over, he might, like, get a head
I
rush.
was expecting him to pass out. Yeah, I was like, dude, are you okay?
Hey, man, everybody on that stage is no spring chicken, dude, like, for real.
Right. Very true. Very true.
Very
They
true.
look great.
Kendrick was awesome, by the way. That was actually my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
part was hearing Kendrick.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh yeah.
we're gonna move on to the Book of Boba Fett because the finale happened and we need to talk about it. So here's the summary. We learned that the Pike Syndicate is responsible for the deaths of the Tuskens. Plot twist. That saved Boba Fett. Luke's X-wing arrives in Mos Espa with Grogu. Cad Bane confronts Boba and tries to bait him into a fight using this information, but doesn't happen. Betrayal. The crime families betray Boba and attack his group on all fronts. When the mayor's aide is sent out to negotiate the terms of surrender as a decoy, Boba and Mando strike first, taking out several pikes. As the two of them are beginning to get overrun, the Freetown folk arrive as reinforcements and drive back the pikes. Or so they thought. Two oversized scorpion neck droids with fourth force fields are tearing up the city and have our heroes on the run. Boba has no choice but to save the day by riding in on the back of his new Rancor and, with the help of Mando and Grogu, who finally show up, destroy the two Scorpion Neck droids. Cad Bane arrives and sends the Rancor off in a panic and nearly kills
Oh,
Boba until he's able to counter and slay Cad Bane with his
counter.
gaffy stick. With the battle won, the remaining crime family leaders and the mayor are all killed by Fennec Shand. Mando and Grogu fly off-world on to their next adventure, while Cobb Vanth is seen to have survived and will undergo some type of bionic modification as credits roll. Jericho, you're also the big Boba Fett fan of the group. You have a tattoo of him somewhere that I can't say. It's not for public information.
Oh, my.
No,
Appreciate
I have. Never mind. Never mind. No, I was gonna say something else. Um,
you
but
watching, Joe. Joe's gonna bounce
it's
because he hasn't seen it yet.
You
You
got a
better
tramp
catch
stamp,
there.
that.
You go.
Jericho? Jericho's got a tramp stamp or what?
No.
It
I was gonna
is.
make a
It's
joke about
Boba's.
the. I was gonna make a joke about the sand monster. That I have that tattoo.
Oh, man.
All
uh,
right.
This is a
Never
PG
mind.
show,
I didn't want to
Jericho.
say it. Oh, sorry. My bad.
go for it,
Um,
man. Your thoughts about the finale? Your favorite parts, or just your overall thoughts in general? Was it good, bad, great, whatever?
I'm sort of in the middle as far as the finale. The whole time I've been giving the show a chance. It's been good. You know, there's been some great episodes. There's been a couple that kind of dragged a little bit. Um, I felt like they had an idea of how they wanted to end this show, but they did a rewrite at some point. I'm not saying that this is what happened, but this is what it felt like to me. Um, it felt like they decided, you know what, let's change this part of the battle, or let's do this. So it felt like the entire battle, it was basically a 45-minute long battle of like it just felt like it dragged on and on and on. And then I don't know, the whole thing with the Rancor, it was cool to see Boba riding him. It
Come
showed that
on.
they made that connection, you know. Call back to him receiving it as a pet and all that, and so it shows that Machete was being truthful about it. He wasn't, it's not a Trojan horse like I thought.
Machete,
Um,
good callback. Yeah.
Machete, yeah.
Where was he at during all this? That's what I would have been.
Who knows?
If he just would have
He,
had one Star Wars looking machete with him and like slicing pikes left and right.
can you imagine him with the Machete saber, a freaking Machete
Hey,
lightsaber? Like, oh man.
if he would have had those
Um,
daggers from Desperado, just like throwing them
oh
at pikes.
dude, he would have taken them all out.
There you go.
It just like so it was good. I like the twist that the Pike turned out to be the ones who killed the Tusken Raiders. I don't want to say that I saw that coming. I just wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, it wasn't just like no way. I didn't gasp. Um, and plus at that point, uh, it's hard for Boba to believe. I would imagine it would be hard for Boba to believe what Cad Bane is saying because it's Cad Bane. Like he's a snake. He's trying to get you to fight him. And what if he was making that up? Um, so overall, it was good. It was awesome to see Mando still struggling with the dark saber. I'm glad he wasn't able to easily wield it. So that means in season 3 we are going to see hopefully some kind of progression, maybe some more montage training of him. With "I Need a Hero" music playing in the background. Um,
Doo
but
doo.
and and it was cool having Grogu there. When I saw the X-wing, I did not at all believe Luke was in there. I thought it was cool that it was Grogu.
Why?
Um,
Why would it not have Luke though? Like, when have we ever seen that thing flying around without him?
so yes, I agree with that. I just don't believe Luke cares, and Luke has bigger and better things to worry about, like starting his academy. So I don't think it would have felt completely out of place. So he was like, you know
At
what? I
least
trust you,
drop him
R2.
off. Like, make sure he got
Well,
there okay.
but make
Are
the
there not
entire trip to do that.
space
He
pirates?
entrusted R2. R2 was like, hey pal, I'll take you. And Grogu's like, cool, I'll fly. And
He knows R2 can get into some shit. All right, so let's not
exactly.
use that as an excuse.
Well, but again, Luke is like, R2 has it. Don't worry about it. You got this, R2. I need to start this academy. I need to get this up and running.
Mm.
But so it was cool. I liked seeing the different battles. How they strategize and they spread everybody out. The hybrid Power Rangers, I felt like they were getting picked off too quick. They seemed. I don't know if they ever mentioned about them being great gunsmen or fighters or anything, but they kind of gave off that vibe, and I just felt like they were just kind of getting picked off left and right. Um, I will say one thing that bothered me with their whole scene. So when Fennec went to go help them, her little speeder bike was literally right next to where they were
Yeah,
hiding.
that
They
was
didn't see that show
odd.
up. I don't care if there's all these blasts coming at you. You didn't see somebody park there, and how the hell did she get around? I don't know. It was odd.
It
Um,
has a mind of its own. It could park by itself
right.
in an
She was
open
controlling it like
area.
Batman with the yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so
It's Star
so
Wars. Come on.
but I like the Freetown people showed up. They kicked ass. There was just, like I said, there was just times where it kind of dragged on. I like the Scorponauts droids. I thought that was very cool, especially to see them with the force field around them. Because for me, it was sort of a callback to Phantom Menace and Clone Wars.
Yes,
Because
episode
I
1. It
yeah, I don't remember other droids in the more recent films come out with something like that, or have some kind of force field. So it was very cool to see that. Uh, and
what
just
were
the
they
fact that
what
man,
were they what were they called?
I don't
Um
remember. I know they rolled
Obi
rolled up and
Obi-Wan has a name for them. Oh, you know what? Maybe is it
I
episode
don't think it
1?
was
It should be episode
Scorponauts.
1.
Yeah. It was because episode one is where they fought them on the Boo, and um, I don't know. I don't remember the name. I had to look it up, but yeah, they were very similar. So these are
Oh, I
basically
got it.
like,
Destroyers.
Destroyer droids. Yeah.
oh, just destroyed. Okay, there you go. So
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
was
those are
cool
the
to see
ones that
that.
Jar Jar destroyed one of them with getting that hand stuck on his shirt on his pants.
On his
Yeah.
foot. Yeah, and he's so. So overall, I mean, I liked the episode. I was, again, I'm sort of in the middle of sort of like on the fence. Like, it wasn't amazing. It was cool. There was some, some little callbacks here and there. Um, but I just, it wasn't like amazing. It wasn't a spectacular finale. It was cool to see Grogu show up and kick some ass a little bit there, and it kind of threw Mando off his game a little bit because he's like, "What are you doing here?" and he's there trying to protect him, all this stuff. So it was cool. Um, I just think it drug on a little bit too much, but overall, I mean, I'm glad it happened. Uh, I will say too, Catan, what's his name? Not Catan, Castan. What the hell is the Wookiee's name?
Chrysanthemum, Black Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum, Black Chrysanthemum. There was one point when he got hurt, and then he just suddenly like, I can kick ass again. I'm fine. Oh no, I'm done. I'm hurt again. And he was like at one point running. I'm like, homie, you were just limping like really, really bad right now. Like your foot was completely twisted when you were
Wookiees can
walking.
heal themselves like
I don't
Wolverine.
know, man.
We know
That was
this.
it.
Come on.
That
Come
was a
on.
huge like. I hope there was something to it because that was like a huge goof right
He
there.
he took an adrenaline shot. He went like he like John
And then
McClane that stuff and like went
and then the
crazy.
little Black Ranger did his whole like unnecessary spin. He
We
spun
established
around.
that in episode 1. Spinning is cool. Don't act like Anakin didn't say that. All
True,
right?
but he
Thank you. Thank
spun.
you.
He spun away from Black Chrysanthemum.
He
Like he
dodged
could
the
have gotten
shot.
shot. He could have gotten shot like 6 times. There's a buttload of people there. But it was cool
Oh,
though. It was cool to see the droids destroying the city and all that. And just when you think it's over, it's like, oh nope, they're destroying more and more, and it just kept going. But
all right.
overall, I enjoyed the show. That's my 30-minute review.
It was a 30-minute review. It's longer than an episode. It's all
My
good.
bad.
Joe, I know you've been sort of the most critical of the series. Do you feel like the finale brought you back a little bit, just not all the way?
No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, it was just very predictable. You kind of knew what was actually going to happen, and I understand a lot of fans were upset with the death of one Cad Bane, but if you go back and you actually watch the episode, they insinuate that he died. But if you look to see on his chest, on his right shoulder, near his heart, uh, there was that device that he had that kind of shows his vitals, and it was still blinking. It didn't go
Mm.
off. It didn't say, like if somebody dies, that thing just goes off completely. It's like 3, 2, 1, boom, they're dead. It didn't do that with him. It still was blinking, which leads me to believe he's not dead like a lot of fans thought he was.
Mhm.
Think they'll still keep him around. He might, you know, heal up, of course, and then come back and maybe try to get some revenge. Maybe we'll see him again, somewhere down the line. If it's not with, in the book of Boba, maybe season 2, maybe it'll be in the Mandalorian. Who knows, but I don't think we've seen the last of Cad Bane. But there were a lot of things that were just, very predictable, and I don't think it really pushed the narrative forward enough. It gave you some resolution, but it did so kind of in a sloppy way. It wasn't really polished. It just didn't seem like it was a fitting end. You wanted a little bit more, but time constraints only allow you to do so much with the time you're given. So they have to kind of condense everything to try to, clean up some of the loose ends, tie up some of the storylines, and give it some closure. And that's what this did. It just kind of gave everything some closure. And you even saw the mayor, or not the mayor, the what do you call him? The marshal. What was his name? Vanth Cod Vanth. Um,
Cobb
Vent
Vanth.
Vamp.
Cobb Vanth. Yeah, Cobb Vanth at the very end. And that, if you, I don't know if you
Corn
stuck
Cobb.
around. I don't know if you stuck around for that, Jericho, but there was a
Yeah,
post
I
credit scene.
did. I saw it.
So you saw that, and then you saw the guy who kind of modifies everybody at the end, leading you to
And the
believe that,
cats.
hey, Banth is going to actually get some type of enhancement. I just, in looking at the whole series and seeing what they were trying to do with it, it was very ambitious. It's just the execution that lacked for me, and then
Yeah.
I get how they were wanting to kind of go ahead and cross paths, kind of have this, hey, we're the Book of Boba, but let's go ahead and sneak in 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, and it was a lot of fanfare for the fans. They enjoyed it, of course, but again, it was the Book of Boba, so you could have resolved things a little bit faster, I think, in the Book of Boba Fett. It didn't need to be, was it 7 episodes that they had? You could have kind of condensed things and made it, resolve a lot quicker than it did. You didn't need a lot of these flashback scenes. Those could have been shortened a little bit as well. Or you could have just had episode 1 be the flashback scene, and then boom, drop you into some more of the action in episodes 2, 3, 4, and then kind of wrap things up, and then give us the next season of The Mandalorian. That would have been amazing. But it is what it is. I understand they're wanting to kind of cross, paths here, and give a lot of fan service, closure to the fans. And hey, look, we brought back Baby Grogu for you guys. He's
Mhm.
gonna be here now, so you're gonna want to watch The Mandalorian again. The new season that starts because they've been reunited, and you're gonna want to see how their story continues. So I get how they're starting to set things up. For me, this was just a series that didn't have a clear identity to me. It just kind of lacked that punch that you're wanting. When you see The Mandalorian, it brought you a lot of new things that you hadn't seen before, got you excited, got you hyped to come and see every single episode that was coming out. I got to see the next one. I got to see the next one. What's going to happen with Baby Grogu? Is he going to get reunited with his own kind, and all that kind of stuff? With the Book of Boba, I didn't feel that same excitement. It was kind of like you're trying to learn more about the character, but it just didn't work. It didn't make me feel anything either way. At the end of the day, thought the last episode was great closure. You had the Power Rangers that come in, and you think they're going to be a little bit better than they are because they do have enhancements. They're quickly dispatched by the locals. Not not even like, the Pike Syndicate. No, they sent, you know what? They're like, you know what? We don't need to send this Pike Syndicate in to go ahead and take care of these guys. We're gonna go send in the light work. The locals. Go and take care of our light work.
I'll be mad if I was Thundercat. I'd be like, what the hell is the point of all these modifications if you can't even you can't
They
even take care of yourself?
they can't take care of themselves. Like the modifications didn't help them with the laser blast
Yeah.
whatsoever. Didn't help them be quicker. I mean, the guy that can see everything, that has that big old, you know, eye on him, electronic enhanced eye. It's like, what good did that all do you?
Yeah.
Nothing. Even their bikes were non-existent with weapons. I'm like, they have all these modifications. They have them all
Yeah.
tricked out. You don't got no weapons on your bikes? Like, really, dude? Like, What's up with that? Maybe the budget didn't allow for it. Who knows? But then you see Chrysanthemum too taking on all the Trandoshans. They're all ganging up on him, and it was a
That
hot
was
mess, dude. Like the
that was
dude.
really cool, especially because they have their freaking their war with each other.
You
The
don't like
Wookiees and
him.
the
Yeah,
they don't like each
he
other
hates him.
at all. So
Yeah,
I like too because that was sort of a callback to I forgot what episode it was when he killed a few of them in the bar. So I thought that was really cool, and especially to see him just when you think oh he's done
he
or he's just
comes
gonna
back
get really
limping.
hurt, he comes back dragging them, freaking throwing them and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, that was
That
a
was pretty
hot
cool
mess.
to
That
see.
whole battle. It's like I wanted to see how he got out of that. It's like
Yeah.
why didn't we see that? We just see him kind of limping in, and he's got like three of the guys hanging on to him still, kind of shaking him off. He's getting shot up, and then the Mandalorian and Boba wait for the dude to get shot in the leg and go down before. Oh, maybe we should help him. I'm like, bro, why don't you go get your dude? You got the speeder bikes there too. I'm like, hello, can somebody go and get the guy?
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm sure they can control these speeder bikes remotely. They got all these modifications. You can't send the bike out there or two to, one is a distraction, the second one to help the Wookiee get back. I'm like, come on, man.
Poor
You
Wookiee.
know? And
Did
then you see
y'all did y'all
go ahead.
feel bad when the Gamorreans fell off the cliff? I was like, no.
Really feel
Not
nothing wrong.
really.
It was like,
What?
no,
Come
no, it's like
on.
they're stupid to begin with, man. Like, how the hell do you let yourself get pushed back that far? No, man. Like,
Yeah, they're supposed to be these strong. I mean, I know they're slaves and they do your bidding, but they're supposed to be sort of your muscle, and yet,
they
first
got
off, they're just
dispatched
wearing
quick.
a little loincloth. It's like, dude, get some clothes on, like freaking get some armor,
They
like
pushed them off
like
the cliff with freaking rakes and shovels, man.
yeah,
Like, really? That's how y'all went out.
bricks and shovels.
Y'all went out like some suckers? It's like, come
They
on,
were
I'm
man.
telling you,
outnumbered.
there was rewrites that I strongly feel happened, or there was like 20 writers in the room, and they were like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do that. How are we gonna get rid of them? Oh, let's push them off the cliff. Okay, cool. And how are we gonna, like?" So they just kept throwing things out there. I was gonna say, like, kind of like what Joe was saying, time constraint. I felt like this was more of a not necessarily a season finale, but the penultimate episode. So this could have been like the penultimate episode. There's a huge battle, and then episode 7 or episode 8 would be now showing the ramifications and how Boba and his army saved the town and all this stuff. And now Boba, now they have the respect for him because of what he did and how he brought in everyone to help. All this stuff. That's where they can tie everything in and show. That's where he does his gangster shit. That's where everything that Joe's complaining about. That's where they would have resolved it right there. But instead, they don't.
He ain't no gangster. He's like the mayor now. I'm gonna parade out in the street. I'm gonna go and bow to everybody. Hey, how's it going? Don't be late on your payment because you owe me protection money. But I love you. Got nothing but love for you. I'm a reformed
Steady.
Boba now. Oh,
What about you, man?
Um, it was. I liked it better than I thought I would have. I didn't know, a lot of what they were gonna do. The betrayal of the crime families was like kind of interesting. Um, the thing that you mentioned earlier about you not being shocked so much. What was it, Jericho?
About that the syndicate was in charge or not in charge but responsible
Oh,
of
for the
the
Tuscan's death.
yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think me and
so
Teddy had talked about that.
it was no, I know. I'm just piggybacking off of him. I it also was to me was not like this big huge reveal and I think they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It I feel like if they tried to do it a different way, um Cad just kind of casually throwing it out there, it didn't have the impact that I thought that they wanted. And so like try it another way. I don't know how you do that. Um I can't think of it right now, but like it didn't have the
Ye-
emotional impact that I think they wanted to have, and I think that the audience should have kind of felt.
They didn't
Because
wanna show them getting killed, that's the thing, the biggest thing, because they had kids involved in the whole
yeah,
deal, and Disney
well,
doesn't even
we
wanna
don't see
show
their
that.
faces. They're
Yeah,
not like human kids.
but it's
and, but
still
but
a
even
child, man.
I think, like you said, Steady, the delivery. I mean, for me, Cad Bane. I mean, I love him. He's a great character. But if if you're telling me, hey, fight me now or whatever, let's end this now. Do you know who's responsible for killing the family? And it's like, oh, and that I'm not going to believe him. I'm like, we know it as the audience because we heard it. They talked
Yeah.
about it before. But for me, if I'm Boba, I'm not going to believe you. I'm not going to believe Cad. I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to find out for myself. I'm going to go talk to Fishhead and see what's going on exactly. Are you actually responsible? And then from there, that's where the impact would be. But they could have had Cad say something else, as far as like trying to get him to battle. But I think, yeah, like you said, they really wanted some kind of big reaction, and it was like, oh, sorry guys, didn't work out.
Yeah, the
Uh,
reaction would have been better if they were actually showing the Pike Syndicate kind of laying waste to the Tuscans, and they didn't have to show, like, the whole battle, but you can see them show up and just start shooting, and then you just, immediately transfer over, to Boba coming back and seeing the aftermath of what happened and
Well, see,
thinking that it's a biker gang, you know?
for me, I don't even care that we never saw them get killed. Like, I don't like
no.
just the fact that the syndicate is the one saying, yeah, we're the ones that took them out. That was enough for me. It was just the delivery of who told him, and like Seti said, it was just like there wasn't the reaction that they thought. Um, it just,
Yeah,
yeah, it was a little lackluster there.
Yeah.
and plus you wanted Boba to have some self-restraint and not to get emotional and start a fight. But if we see him get like really emotional and
Mm.
really enraged by that information, then I think it hits a little bit better for the audience. The fact that it was a moment where like he had to restrain himself, it also deflates the gravity of that information. It's not like
Even
Luke hearing Vader's his father and then like, oh
right,
no, no, no.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we don't get any emotion afterwards, and so that kind
But
of
even Fennec was like, "You're emotional. Let's fight on our terms, not on their terms. This is what they want." So she
yeah.
was warning him, like she's like, "You're emotional. Don't do this right now." Like she knows what they meant to him. So,
Yeah, I agree. Other than that, I want to say that the start of the fight, Boba, Mando flying around the jetpacks,
ooh,
like shooting them and everything. There's this movie I really love, and I don't know why I love it so much. Um, Ryan Phillippe and the guy that plays a collector,
Denzel
Benicio
Washington.
del
Oh,
Toro,
oh, the collector. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're in
I'm
this
thinking
movie
of Bone
called
Collector.
during this movie called The Way of the Gun, and it's just this random movie that has a lot of guns in it for no apparent reason. But it felt there's this moment where it's like it's just these two guys against like dozens of these henchmen, and they're
Yeah.
just shooting left and right and doing everything they can. So it kind of had that feel to me of that being overwhelmed, but them flying around in jetpacks, shooting and stuff. Like I had a
Hmm.
lot of fun seeing that. If you would have told me years ago that one day we would get the return of Boba Fett, and then later down the road we were gonna get Boba riding on the back of a Rancor, like taking out like massive droids on the planet Tatooine, I would have said, "Get the hell out of here." But I
Yeah.
would have been like, "That's freaking cool." And so, yes, I had fun seeing Boba on the back of a Rancor, like doing his thing. And I'm like, that Rancor better not die. I want to be pissed as hell if I see that Rancor die. So luckily the Rancor survives, and that was cool. I had more fun than I thought I would have. I thought it was just gonna be a pretty straightforward kind of battle,
Hmm.
but they did surprise me with a few of the elements. and
The
so I
Rancor gave
really
you
I
the King
really
Kong
enjoyed
moment.
that. What'd you
The
say?
the Rancor gave you that King Kong moment where he was climbing up the
Oh,
tallest
yeah.
building in Mos Eisley or wherever they're at.
Yeah, yeah.
Mos
Most
Espa, Mos Espa.
aspects. You
You
know
know,
what? I
So
thought one of the funny parts, I don't know about y'all, but so when the mayor's second in command, he comes
I
in
love that.
and dude, so he's there like, I majored in this, and this, and negotiation, blah blah blah. What I found hilarious, and it didn't ruin the episode for me or anything like that. I just felt it was a little out of place, but it also was sort of like giving Boba sort of a sense of humor, showing that he kind of has a sense of humor. He writes on the tablet his demands. First off, it looked like he was writing for maybe 10 seconds,
Yeah.
but Homeboy goes outside, reads this long 5 minute speech, and of course, terrified because as he's reading it, he's like, and these are his words, because it's just basically a big fu to all of them. I thought that was so funny because like I'm just like Bobo was just done with this guy. He's freaking annoyed by him. Every interaction he's had with him. I think part of him was kind of hoping he would have gotten killed. To be honest with you, because like to make him go out there and be like, yeah, I trust you. Here, go say this, and he was just kind of hoping his ass would get blasted. But I thought that was hilarious. I don't
Well,
know why.
it was hilarious and it was great because if it was just for meant for a joke, I agree with you. It would have felt out of place. The fact that they did that so that they could actually have an element of surprise that they didn't have
Hmm.
before. That's when they flew out on their jetpacks and they just
Yeah,
started picking them off one by one. So I'm just like, that's freaking cool. Not the same, but it had that little bit of that Young Guns feel. Very last scene, they're
yeah,
throwing like trunks and other things out of the house, and out from the trunk is William Bonney,
yeah,
Billy the Kid. So I that was cool because they were like, we don't have the element surprise. What are we gonna do? And they got one. They threw him out there as a decoy. Not only was it funny, but it was practical
yeah.
in the moment because they needed just a second to come out and have the guard down for all these pikes. So I thought that was really cool. I thought Grogu would have been more help. I'm like, you've been training with Luke for a little bit now. You could probably finish all this yourself.
Oh yeah.
Let's just,
I
let's
felt
do
like Mando was
something.
holding him back though a little bit because
I agree. I agree.
yeah,
But Grogu, like, he could have just done something without
yeah,
Mando, getting in the way, which happened a lot during the season of The Mandalorian, anyways.
yeah.
One of the things that I thought was funny too was when you see the character that Twi'lek, the guy with the head tails,
The
the
mayor's
little
aide.
movie. Yeah,
Hmm.
you see him in the battle, and he's hiding behind a little wall or something,
That's
and
right.
Billy kinda sees him, and he's like, "No, I'm not a threat, I'm not a threat." And
Yeah,
she's like, "Well, get behind me, I got you," and it's like, that was funny to me. Like, you have this
that's
girl that's
awesome.
smaller than him with the gun, she's a badass, and this guy's, like, doing absolutely nothing but hiding like a little sniveling weasel. I wonder if they make a season 2, if he's gonna make it into it, and
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
date. They're gonna date next season. The two of
and
them.
the funny thing was, she was dating a Jawa, so she's not picky.
She actually didn't she call him handsome or something like that. Get
Yeah,
behind me,
Yeah,
handsome, or so
yeah.
something like that.
Nice head tails. She goes, "Nice head tails,"
yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very
Oh man,
awesome.
And I like the scene too where they all fell out of that little, I guess it was I don't know how to explain
the
it.
little what is it called?
Rickshaw.
Rickshaw.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a little rickshaw. And it's funny how you see them all fall, and then, of course, Mando flies and gets the baby, and you see the baby,
Oh
"Ah!" And then you see Kelly, she falls, and immediately she gets up and she spits out a tooth like, "I'm alright." And then it's
So
funny because if
it
you watch
had its
the episode,
moments. See,
you can see, like, her tooth is missing, like, it's legit, it
yeah.
got knocked out, so, to me, that was a nice touch?
So it had its
I
moments. It was good. It was
It
Yeah,
did. It had its moments. I had more fun than I thought I would. I thought it would just kind of be a little bland from start to finish, but they kind of pulled out some surprising moments, like Jericho mentioned, and it was fun. It was fun, and
yeah,
I don't. I'm not gonna say this is like the greatest series or like it took Star Wars to a
right,
new level. I think it continued a very similar tone and trend of what the Mandalorian sent started, and and what I had mentioned is that I think all the series put in this timeline going forward are going to weave in and out of stories and plot lines, and I don't think it doesn't matter what it's called. The Ahsoka series, the Bo-Katan series, if she gets her own. I think all of these shows are going to have characters that are meeting one another and that are partaking in these subplots and these side quests. And it's not going to be so focused on whoever's the lead character of that series,
right.
but I do appreciate this shared universe. It's unlike anything else we have, so it is a little refreshing in that regard. But I am willing to go along with it. I know, like Joe, like many others, you should have had maybe more Boba Fett in the Boba Fett show, but I'm good with it, and I think that they're going to continue this style anyways, where people can come in and out at any point in time, and it's just that shared of a universe at this point.
And if they
Yeah.
could please dirty his teeth a little bit, because it's looks ridiculous when he's filthy and his big old bright white smile is coming through. It's like,
You're talking about
bro,
Boba?
yes,
Those are his veneers, bro. He doesn't have real
I
teeth. Those are veneers.
I know, man, but I'm just
Those are
saying, like,
modifications.
the never dull and never dirties.
There you go.
Um, I think, yeah, I think the title is what was kind of off-putting, or not off-putting, but confusing. Like Joe's been saying this whole time that we've been reviewing it every episode. It's the Book of Boba, not the Book of Boba featuring Mando. So it should have been something, like with the Han Solo movie. It was like, what was it, Star Wars, a Han Solo, or I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
A
Uh-huh.
solo story.
Yeah.
There you go. Solo, a Star Wars movie or whatever it's called. So I think they should have done something like that. Maybe like the Mandalorian Book of Boba, or Book of Boba, something along those lines. I think that would
That
have
sounds more
helped.
confusing.
It does, yeah, because then you would think, oh, this is season three technically. So they could have done something a little bit different with the title or something. But overall, I'm happy with the season. It's maybe not something I would watch again, unless there's something that comes around and says, "Hey, you might have missed this in this episode. Did you see, these Easter eggs?" So, not right away. I wouldn't watch it again right away. It's not something that I'm dying to see. Like with Mandalorian, I watched both seasons immediately after they ended because they're just that great. Book of Boba, I can wait a little bit, maybe even after season 3 of Mandalorian comes out. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I
and
think
if
what
they
they're doing is they're gonna wind up setting Grogu up for his own series eventually. I think he's gonna, he's gonna outlive
I don't
both
know, man.
Boba and he's gonna outlive Mando. And the Mando's
Yeah,
like father, at this point, he's really attached to him. But I think they're kind of setting baby Grogu up for bigger and better things, and this is part of that. It's part of the slow burn, the build up to him doing better things, bigger things
I,
later
I,
on.
I still think he's going to bite it out at some point. I really do. Only because we've never heard of him. And sure, he could be a character that's in hiding at some point, in the later films. I don't know. I don't know, because Yoda was what was he, like 900 years old or something?
yeah,
So it's possible Grogu's still alive. Um, we've just never heard of him at all until Mandalorian came out. So I don't know. It would be cool for him to get a series, but it's going to be one of those things where, I mean, he doesn't speak right now. I think what's going to be funny is once he does start speaking, I think that's going to kind of kill it for the cuteness of the character. Because imagine this tiny, Grogu speaking with like either a teenage voice or it's like this older guy voice, and you're just like, oh, you're
All
not
kids are
cute
cute
anymore.
until they hit that preteen teenage years.
Exactly.
Yeah, they ain't
Like
cute no
Groot,
more after that.
like
Yeah,
Groot
Exactly.
in
Watch
yeah.
it
Guardians
now.
2. Whoa!
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Nuggets beat the Warriors. Did not want that to happen. Okay. Sorry. Off track. That was our discussion on the Book of Boba Fett, the season finale. We want to hear from you guys. What did you think about the Book of Boba Fett? Did you enjoy it? What did you like about the first season? Um, did it surpass your expectations? Did it not live up to the hype? Let us know in the comments below. And we still have one more discussion to talk about, and we're going to try to do it quick 'cause I know it's getting late here. Peacemaker, the penultimate episode, episode 7. Stop dragging my heart around. Uh, I'm gonna do the summary. Here it goes. We open on the accident involving Chris and his brother Keith when they were kids. Their father running a fighting ring between his two sons, which led to Keith. I think he's having a seizure, and he
Yeah.
dies from it. Augie, the father, the White Dragon, and his fellow clansmen attack Peacemaker along the interstate. Diebeard is eventually able to shoot all the clansmen, and Chris is finally able to overcome his own demon and kill his father, the White Dragon. The butterfly controlled
Super
police.
quick. Oh, go ahead. I was
The
gonna say that was
butterf-
super quick synopsis.
the butterfly controlled police force tracks down Mern and kills him. Dear God. Chris and the team set out on their next mission to kill the cow. And just before the episode ends, we get a good look at the creature as the credits roll. It's kind of like not a lot happened, but there was a
Yeah.
lot of kind of in between. But the gist of it is, the Klansmen and the White Dragon attack Chris, but they get away. Chris kills his dad. Finally, Mern goes down, surprising, and then we see the cow, the next target, where the team of 4 now are going to save the world from an alien invasion without any backup, without any superheroes of any kind. They're just going for it. And the cow, uh, massive alien looking creature, reminds me a lot of
Say it.
Stargirl's
Yeah.
pet from Teen
Yeah.
Titans Go, and I forget what his name is.
I don't remember.
It's like
But yeah.
squiggly or squishy or something like that. But if I had to like think of any character in the DC universe I've seen before, it would be Stargirl's pet from Teen Titans Go. Jericho, your thoughts
Yeah.
on episode 7?
Yeah. So kind of like you said, a lot happened, but it did. I don't feel like it really drove the story a whole ton.
Yeah.
Um, it was basically like an extension of the last episode. I would say. Um, the whole subplot with the White Dragon and his people and everything, that the fact that the dad is dead now, I think that's going to give Chris his freedom. I feel like he's been held back all these years because he's always been trying to please daddy, and he was just never good enough. He was always blamed for killing his brother, all this stuff. And now that he just has all this animosity towards him and took him out. So now I feel like he's not going to be held back. So now, come episode, was it 7, the next one, whatever the final episode is,
8.
I feel like we're going to see a little bit more freedom. Maybe we won't see him, clench up because like his excuse was the whole eagle or the dove or whatever it is not etched out on the gun, stuff like that. pretty cool to see Diebeard take out all the Klansmen. That was pretty
Economos, yeah.
badass. Yeah, Economos. And then Vigilante Man, he's all over the place, but he can kick ass when he's like when you see him fight, he's there kicking ass, but then he's also freaking nuts too. Um, and then I think yeah, it sucks that Mern died. Um, I don't know, like the fact that the whole police force and even what was their inside man is now taken over. I mean, this is going to be insane. Like, how are they expected to stop not only the cow, like the fact that it seems like everybody's going there, so it's going to be freaking surrounded. You know, it's going to be protected. So I have no idea what they're going to do. Um, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but I think it was a pretty good episode. So it just wasn't. It wasn't. I don't think it was the best one so far, but it was good. You know, and it had some, you know, kind of tie ups there, and like I said, it felt like more of an extension of the last episodes than a full episode on its own. If that
I
makes
could
sense.
I could agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Joe, what about you, man? Your thoughts on episode 7?
I liked episode 7. I thought it brought some closure, especially to Peacemaker. We knew that story arc was coming for quite some time already with between him and his dad. And you get to the thing that really I think was hard to watch was him fighting his brother in that pit, to open up this episode. They actually finally showed the brother and him fighting and him hitting his brother and his brother immediately falling to the ground and convulsing, and his dad goes into a tirade and starts calling him, you POS, and you're, basically worthless, and you're dumb. And I mean, the dad was egging on his kids to fight. That's his fault, not the children's fault. And I think it just goes to show you the psyche of the dad at this point, where he's a very selfish man that only thinks about his own self. He doesn't think about anybody else. And this is what Peacemaker grew up in, this type of atmosphere. And even though all this does happen to him, he's somehow still able to keep his humanity, you know, and stay true to his own values, even though the dad's on a tirade belittling him. And what I thought was great out of this whole thing too is you kind of see a little bit more into the sexuality of one Peacemaker, and that was really big on social media. People applauded that, and I thought that was pretty big of them. They usually don't come out and say, "Hey, this character is going to be gay or they're going to be bisexual," and them tackling that issue. I thought that was pretty good. To see this character that is beloved right now by fans and kind of showing what his sexuality is to me it was a win, and he dispatched his dad after the dad tore into him and just belittled him so much, and he finally stood up to his dad, stood up for himself, and dispatched the guy, even though he did care about his own father. And that right there is the closure to that story arc between him and his dad. And now Chris, for all intents and purposes, Peacemaker, is going to be able to become his own person and not have to deal with his dad belittling him, and he's forming his own family now, which is kind of funny to see, how everybody in this group has somehow, even though they hate each other, they kind of grew on each other, and now they really do care about one another and really want to help each other, So I like that. And then the part that I liked about this whole episode was seeing, what's her name? Harcourt uh fighting over there with what's her name? The other character in there. What's her name? Can't remember.
Leota?
Leota, yeah. She was fighting with Leota, and they kind of made peace, and they kind of came to an understanding. And even Peacemaker, he's still mad at Leota. Let's see how that closure takes place. But he knows that she planted that diary, and he doesn't take kindly to her. He basically doesn't like her right now. But you have these conflicts within a family dynamic, so it's going to be fun to see how they kind of resolve that issue. Um, and the thing that I liked about the whole episode is even though they did lose Mern, and it feels like the group is in flux, they don't have a clear direction. Well, my God, what are we going to do? How are we going to complete the mission? It's a fail, you know. I think at the end when they all look at Harcourt and they choose her to be their leader, she really appreciated that. And it brought a smile to her face. And I think that's going to really bring this team closer as a collective unit because they know for all intents and purposes that Harcourt is the most level-headed person. Even though she is quite angry all the time, she really thinks about the team dynamic a lot, you know. So she is the fitting leader for this ragtag tag group of characters, you know. And I honestly believe in the next episode, not all of them are going to make it out alive. I think that we might see somebody perish in this battle, and I'm leading towards vigilante, you know. So who knows, you know? And then you still have the funny scene with Judo Master. This character does not go away, man. Like they just lost Mern, and he's like, "Hey," you know, shows up in the room and just starts fighting with Harcourt, you know. And the funny thing is, they're finally able to dispatch him, and they electrocute the crap out of him. And I'm like, what are they gonna do with this guy? I mean, at some point, you gotta let him go, you know? And the funny scene that I liked out of the whole series, and not the whole series, but this episode was those two guys that are complete asses. They're coming to the convenience store where Judo Master escaped to, and he's always eating chips. He's eating the hot Cheetos, you know? And he's just there minding his own business, and they're making fun of him. "Oh, look it, we have a leprechaun." And he's like, "Okay." So he waits for them to come back out, and he just starts laying waste to them, beats the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the attendant that's inside the store looks at Judo Master and gives him a thumbs up, like, "Yeah, dude, that was great," you know? And then he takes off, and of course, we know where he was going. He was going straight to the hotel where Harcourt and everybody else was at. But it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting to me, what is gonna happen with Judo Master, man? Like, can we let this dude, like, get some closure? Like, you need to let him go, man. He's been shot, beat up. I feel bad for the dude, you know?
They're keeping him around, so I feel like he's gonna show up in this final episode and have something to do. I don't know what that is. Um, I too I liked episode 7. I think a lot of people liked it. It resonated a lot with them. I don't know how this season is gonna end. It feels like they're in a no-win situation. It feels like they're in over their
Mm-hmm.
head. It feels like they're not well equipped. And now they're down Mern. They're down like their inside guy. This is, a butterfly that they were using to their advantage, and now they lost that advantage, and now they're going in completely blind. Really, John Cena had this to say about the finale, which is going to be on in a few hours. The finale episode of Peacemaker is on HBO Max tomorrow. You will definitely have some stuff you need to say when you see it. Cannot wait for everyone's take on an epic James Gunn finale. So that's high praise.
Nice.
And I don't think Cena's the type of guy to kind of like oversell something. I really do think
Yeah.
that this finale is going to be something special. It's going to be something worth watching and worth talking about, and I feel like it's just going to blow everybody's minds. I hope I'm right, and I can't wait to see it. I hope you're watching it along with us, wherever you're at. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you thought about episode 7. Give us your theories going forward for episode 8. Um, I really have no idea, and I don't want to try and guess, but it just seems like a dire situation that's going to be extremely difficult to get out of. But the show has been hilarious since the beginning. Cena's been a riot. He's shown exactly how great his comedic timing is and his comedic
Mm-hmm.
chops and his ability to just think on the fly and improvise. All of that stuff, he's tremendous at it. I've always known this, not always, but I've known this for many years, and I've been waiting for the moment for him to really spread his wings. No pun intended. And so, cannot wait to see how this show ends tomorrow. It's already been renewed for season 2, so we're getting a season 2
That's dope.
of Peacemaker. And I want to say there was some additional information. Now I forgot what that might be. Either an additional spin-off or something along those lines. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's Judo Master. We'll figure it out later. But yeah, Peacemaker
No,
already greenlit for season 2. So
I wanted to
great
talk about
news.
the cow. I wanted to talk about that cow. The cow reminded me of Silky from Teen Titans.
That's what we all just said like
Yeah,
10 minutes ago, Joe.
yeah,
we
that's what I was
said
gonna
that.
tell you too. We all said that, and I was looking at a picture of Silky too, and I was like, yeah, he kind of does look like Silky, you know. And you saw it
Thank
like
you
Oh,
for
Joe.
agreeing with us, Joe.
yeah,
Thank you, man.
and then I saw that, when I was watching that particular scene where they show the cow, you can see like they're forcefully milking it, like they would hook up an actual cow,
Hmm.
and it's producing that, whatever substance that they eat off of. But they're going to use some type of machine to try to teleport it to a different location. So we'll see if they can get there in time or what's going to happen with this
Maybe it's
particular.
gonna end on a note where Peacemaker and the crew are teleported to
Mhm.
wherever they go.
You just beat me
Exactly.
to it.
Yeah, because they brought the teleportation machine on. I was like, okay, so this is gonna get wild, you know?
Well, I'm trying
Yeah,
to figure out what season 2 would be about. So either they don't annihilate the entire alien invasion, which how do you? I mean, I know that they think the food source is going to do that, but these things are all over the planet. Like it feels like it should be tougher than that. But I could easily see a scenario where Peacemaker gets transported to this alien planet. I mean, look, like he's wanted. He's a wanted man, and it doesn't seem like you can just erase that now. He doesn't have
yeah.
Amanda Waller's uh, protection or support, so he's kind of on his own. You know what I mean? So like, why keep him here? He's just gonna be a man on the run forever. Like no family, really. I mean, like biologically, and I don't know. I could easily see a
That's
situation
what's so
where
great about this show.
he
It's
gets
like
transported to wherever they're from.
He
These
still has
butterflies.
that ship, remember, from that other butterfly. He still is in possession of that spaceship.
Ooh,
true,
yeah. I
but
wonder
that's
what
what's so
if
great about
that's
this
gonna come
show. It's
back.
like as ridiculous and fun as it's been, I hate that we cannot predict what's going to happen. That's just some damn good writing right there. It almost reminds me of Young Justice, where Young Justice is just so good, you cannot. There's going to be some kind of twist. You can't figure out what's going to happen. Can't even think of a theory, and then and so I really love that about Peacemaker. I'm glad it's gotten renewed for season 2. Um, I'm thinking they get teleported, and maybe the first half of the season will be them still trying to end the butterflies. Maybe I don't know, but again, there's no superheroes, so how the hell are they supposed to do it? Does Peacemaker's helmets explode, and maybe he's going to use that? I don't know. I don't know. There's just no telling. I was going to point out. I don't know because I know we're going to wrap up. But the fact that I can't remember his name, so Augie Smith, uh, the fact that they had this whole reoccurring trope of the whole, the brother died, the son died. Did y'all ever see Dewey Cox, Walk Hard, a Dewey Cox story?
No.
So it was basically the parody of Walk Hard, the Johnny Cash movie, the one with
Oh,
Right.
yeah, I saw that, I
Joaquin
saw that.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so throughout the entire movie, um, what's his name? Robert Patrick, right? That's his name, the actor,
The
something
actor,
like that.
John C.
The
John
one.
C. Reilly.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the dad. So the one that played the dad in both that
Oh
movie
yeah,
and
Robert Patrick. Yeah.
the one that
Yeah.
August Smith, the T-1000. So he the whole movie in Walk Hard, he's always getting after Dewey and saying the wrong son died, the wrong son died, like always blaming him because it was his fault when they were kids that his brother died. And when this happened in Peacemaker, I cracked up. Yes, the son died, a child died. I get that, but what was funny is the fact I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if that was meant to be a callback or what, or if really any fans that ever saw that movie, would pick up on that. I did. I thought it was hilarious, and because he always had that anger towards him, like, oh, you killed your brother, all that stuff. Almost the same as saying the wrong son died. Just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I thought that was so freaking hilarious.
That is awesome. No, I didn't know that. I don't remember that movie at all. It's been a long time. It's an old movie.
Walk hard.
I saw it so many times. I love that movie.
Awesome. Well, we're just hours away from the Peacemaker finale getting released on HBO Max. Can't wait to see it. I feel like it's gonna just blow everything out of the water. I feel like it's going to exceed our expectations, and I really hope I'm right about that. We want to hear from you. How has this season been for you? How much have you enjoyed Peacemaker? Let us know in the chat, or you can always send us a message on Facebook by clicking that send message button, or you can email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdowncitygeekcast.com. Next week, we'll be talking about the finale of Peacemaker, and we'll also be talking about some additional news that broke this week. New franchises are getting trilogies. New movies have been announced. New TV series have been announced. Right now, it's just like fandemonium. I said fandemonium because it's just like everybody's getting anything they want when they want it, like right away. So we'll have plenty of things to talk about regarding new projects that have been announced and new things that have been teased. Cannot wait for the Geekcast. My name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man behind the magic. You know him as Joe Garcia.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and please make sure to subscribe, share, and let everybody know about the Countdown City Geekcast. We appreciate your continued support.
We're the Greeks now. And last, but never the least,
I'm tired, Teddy.
The biggest Boba Fett fan I know. It's the one and only Jericho.
Later, y'all. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. It's been fun. Let's do this again.
AKA
same bad channel, same bad time.
Teddy, call you chickadee chopsticks. There you go. For Peacemaker.
Chickadee chopsticks. I'm gonna watch that episode again.
I laughed my ass off when that happened. Oh my god. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Man.